Alrighty, let's see if we got any sound coming out the back end. And if we do, then we can start this thing off. Cool. Watch the ads. Watching the ads. Watch the ads. So let's see if we got the sound coming out. We do. Okay. Let's get this thing started the right way. Ladies, gentlemen, pronouns, lend me your ears. Crazy Kid back for another live stream. Even I make mistakes sometimes, just like the mistake I made when I got my action camera and accessory kit in the mail. It got delivered last week, and I made the video, and I totally forgot to put the microphone on. So, I everybody makes mistakes. It's just a matter of whether or not you own them and how you grow from them. So let's just have a general conversation about whatever other than politics or religion. And hey, Andy, how you doing? Yeah, as long as we're not talking about politics or religion, we're just going to have an open forum today. Just whatever for a little bit. And then I got to get making some dinner and whatnot. But yeah, just here we are. Another live stream, uh, and just another day in the trenches, I guess. But as you can see, we got the remote control right here for the air unit, and let me tell you, I want to put a McDonald's magnet on the outside of that because yeah, I'm loving it. This thing here is so cool. It it keeps my place at a medium temperature that I enjoy, and I just love the thing. They came in, they whacked it together, and they were gone before I even knew it, and everything was all hooked up, ready to go. So, um, yeah, just another day in paradise. Actually, I should do a reaction to that song by Steve. Is it Steve? No, it's Colin. The heck was his name? Colin. It'll come to me. But yeah, it's no, not Phil Collins. It was Colin country genre. Um, it skips my mind sometimes. Um, but if Sunflowers was here, she'd be able to. Actually, Nicole. If Nicole was here, she'd be able to fire that off. Um, but now Phil Collins, he sang uh, a lot of great songs. Like uh, I got to get to doing a couple of his, even though I know for a fact they're going to wind up being a month long worldwide block because his music was so popular. Um, so I got a couple songs in the tank because of that. Um, but we're I got quite a few ready to come out. But as you've noticed, it's been Monday, Wednesday, Friday instead of every day. I do that during the summertime. So this way here, you guys can have a little bit of you guys can have a summer. I can have a summer. Uh, Well, I'll have to check that out. I'll have to check it out. The song I was thinking of was "Just Another Day in Paradise" by Colin. The heck was his last name? It was a country song that I really enjoyed back when it first came out. Good morning there, Kieran. How are you doing? Okay, I was wrong. It was Phil Vassar. Yeah, the Phil Vassar song is the one I was thinking of. But yeah, those are some songs that will be coming down that I'll be looking at to bring down the pipeline. I've been finding a lot of like street version cover bands or bands that are like doing local scene bars and stuff like that. They're putting up a channel and putting their music out on YouTube. I've been getting that a lot in my feed, and there's a couple coming up that are quite shocking how interesting they are. So that's those are some of the videos that are coming down the line. I listen to a lot of different music. I'll listen to country western. I'll listen to classic country. I'll listen to classic rock, heavy metal, pop. I've just recently got into the pop music through Fourth Impact. I've been watching a lot of heavy metal with Love Bites, and oh geez, I don't know. I have no idea what movie that quote was from. But I'll listen to pretty much anything except for like gangster rap, because gangster rap was for me it doesn't do anything for me other than agitate me. So I just prefer not to listen to it. Now, mind you, there's some rap songs like "Parents Just Don't Understand" by Will Smith, by DJ Jazzy Jeff and Will Smith. There are some songs that do have a bit of meaning, like Beastie Boys, "You Got to Fight for Your Right to Party." But for a lot of the gangster rap stuff, it's either too violent, too racial, or too it separates people, and I don't want to do that on this channel. I'd rather invite everybody in. Unfortunately, not doing rap is kind of segregating some people out, but that's just my own personal choice. If I don't feel comfortable promoting something, it's not going to be on my channel. That's just the way I started this channel. It's the way I'm going to keep going at this channel. And that's why I always watch every video before I do a report, reaction, commentary, whatever you want to call it, on my channel. Heading back to Ireland next week. Oh, Holy Communion. Yeah, I remember when I had to do communion for my goddaughter. I'm not Catholic, so I don't know what the whole, what the details are in each one of the steps. And I ended up messing up so much because I just didn't know. I didn't research any of it. All I knew was communion was when you broke bread, when you take the wafer, the cookie from the priest, and it's like the body of Christ and whatever like that. And I ended up bringing a loaf of bread and said, "Jesus, sandwiches for everybody." And they all took it as what it was, basically me just having fun. But, I didn't know. I was totally new to the whole being a godfather deal when I was asked to do it. I was like, you got to realize I'm not Catholic, so I don't know any of the steps. Then when she had to go in for her confession, the priest asked me if I wanted to go first to show her how it was done, and I was like, ooh, you don't have the time for that. Like, am I supposed to sit there and go, like, forgive me, Father, for I have sinned? Did you bring a lunch? We got a lot to talk about, So, all the things I've done to make people laugh, priests would look at me and go, you got a lot to repent for. Oh, yeah. Well, every time you go from Ireland to the Philippines and back to the Philippines, you're going literally halfway around the world. Like, it's literally 12-hour difference from where I'm at. From where I'm at, they're on the exact opposite side of the planet. So, it would be a whole lot of air miles if I was to have to keep making trips back and forth and back and forth and back and forth. I'd like to go at least just once, anyways. Because there's a lot of people that I've met on YouTube here that I've formed decent friendships with. Like, there's It's Wang, the It's Wang channel. Hello, Sunflowers. How are you doing? How you doing, Christina? I've made friends with Rowena from It's Wang channel. I've made friends with obviously the Filipina P, Fourth Impact, and other channels that I've come across and had communication with, and I really like their stuff. Like, there's Ding Lellis, major OG supporter for my channel. 3-layer. Oh, wow. 25 hours. Takes a whole day. You're in a metal tube up in the air for like, what, 16, 18 hours? Wow. That's nuts. Yeah, that's a long day. That's when you want to bring a really good book and just kind of thumb through it while you're in the flight. Take your mind off how long it's taking by going through that book. And for me, I'd be like getting 3 or 4 pages in, falling asleep. Getting 3 or 4 pages in, falling asleep. Yeah. Yeah, I get tired when I read. I'm like, it just wears me out for some reason. But yeah, as you can see with the ticker that's going across the bottom here about the Patreon channel, yeah, I decided to start one of them up. Mainly just put extra more personal content. If you guys are inclined to join the Patreon, if you have a song request that you want me to do, your request will get brought closer to the time you requested it than just requesting through the chat or requesting through other means. And you'll get a personal line communication. There's a direct message system in there, and then there's a community that we can build up in there that you guys can have a lot of fun talking with each other. Plus, I uploaded the unboxing video of my action camera and accessory kit, which I've the first time I recorded the video, I forgot to put a microphone on. So it was a silent movie. And my mom was like, "Oh, you can just do voiceover? You can just do voiceover?" And I was like, "I can't match the words that I'm saying on the video." I says it was just easier just to re-record it. But yeah, all the content so far is like, unfortunately for some, it's behind the paywall. But yeah, I got like my welcome video, and I got my unboxing video for the action camera and whatnot. So I'm trying to get ready to go out to the Retro Fest at the end of this month. That's the last weekend in May. So it'll be warm, and I'll have the action camera out there, showing the really nice looking cars. There's all kinds of people that have classic cars, antique cars, cars done up, like sports cars or trucks done up to the nines, and they bring them out to show and stuff like that. It's quite interesting for if you're into the car stuff. Then they have live music in the Palladium, this park area that we have for events. We used to have a thing called the Festival of Nations. It was the best event. Like literally, the park would be flooded with people all day long for an entire week. And the city officials that were in charge of it decided to try to get, more business. They were like, "Oh, we got to get bigger name artists to go on stage, and we can bring in more people and bring in more money." And all it ended up doing was costing more money. And then they ended up trying to charge people, instead of like $3 for the day or $3 to buy this pin that you would get, and then you go and you all week long you go to the events, and they'd have like all the different ethnicity foods and stuff like that, and people would bring in delicacies from their background, and you'd buy them, and it was awesome. And because city officials tried to make money off of it, make too much money off of it, it just died. People just wouldn't go, and all of a sudden, attendance went down, and so did the event. And before, it was like the party to go to. It was like the party to go to for the entire summer. I just wish they had it still, because now that we have all these overseas workers coming over from all different kinds of countries, it would be great to still be able to go to their booth and learn about their country, their background, their heritage, and taste some of the delicacies that they, that's part of that culture. It was a great cultural experience. Let me tell you that. It was, you got to see a lot of the world just in our own little community here. But yeah, it was the best. It was the best party of the week, or the best party of the year. And it was always like the end of May. Actually, the Retro Fest was always the end of May. The Festival of Nations was always around Canada Day. Canada Day, the American Independence Day, same week. So, it was just, it was the best. Like, you got to learn so much about countries around the world that you didn't even have to go to visit. So it was a lot of fun. It's just sad that it's gone now because of greed. Greed ruins a whole lot of stuff. But soon I'm going to have better lighting in here. I ordered some soft lights to put some on each side, so this way here the light will go across like this and actually show, instead of, it won't have the shadows. I'm trying to get rid of the shadows, so it'll make my videos a little bit better, I think. So like right now I just got this thrift store lamp on this side and I've got nothing on this side, and I kind of want to shine light inward, so this way here, get rid of shadows. It's mainly the reason. It's going to be a little bit harder on my eyes, but it is what it is. If you want to have decent looking videos, you got to do what you got to do. I may end up wearing my shields for those while I have those lights on, but I went to the thrift store and saw a light. It had a light box on it. I was like, oh, cool. I think I know what that is. I brought it home. Nope. It was a camera flash bulb. I was like, nuts. Spent $25 on it. Can't use it. I tested it out and I couldn't use it. Yeah, I'm like, that's another thing I want to do is after I get the lighting all fixed up, I want to get a green screen. Just like something that I could take down, put up in a flash, just slide in behind me, and then I could put whatever I want in the background. So that's coming up down the line. That'll be probably the next thing that I go after is the green screen. So that's why here you don't see my new couch and you don't see my jackets hanging on the back of the table, and like just one of those things. Like when a lot of people make the mistake of when they start something like a YouTube channel or whatever like that, and they make that first little bit of money, they go out and they blow it on some kind of reward that has nothing to do with their how they made the money. And then they're scrounging to try to make that extra money again. Meanwhile, if they just invest a little bit of that money, even half of it or all of it, invest in equipment to make your money making easier, then, or better, make the quality better, then all of a sudden, when your quality goes up for YouTube here, when the quality of your videos go up, so does your subscriber rating, so does your watch hours, and so does your paycheck. That's how it works. So, like I'm investing into this whole YouTube thing, and I want to make sure I got I do something to make things better, like the action camera and accessory kit. That was so that I could go out and do videos outside my unit, outside my home. So this way here, I could take a video in the park or take a video on the way to Walmart or grocery shopping to show you how much of a pain in the butt it is to do grocery shopping around here, especially if you don't drive. The city bus system, how loud and rickety those buses are, and how much you get tossed around in there like a pinball, that kind of stuff, and whatnot. Just interesting stuff that happens around this area. Like, I don't know if anybody likes pineapples on their pizza, but that all started right here in the city I live in. Anybody who knows anything about the War of 1812 between Canada and the United States, one of the key members of that fighting force on the Canadian side, which was the Indigenous ambassador to the Indians, his name was Tecumseh. His last battle was right here in this city. And all kinds of interesting stuff. And plus, there are a number of really cool looking houses with like really cool architectural details on the outside, like candy molding, um, and stuff like that. And there's a house here that I just love the look of the house, even though it is a bit creepy looking to some. I just love the look of the way that this house looks. You can tell that it was put here long time ago. Like it's not a fresh house. It's been here for it's over 100 years old. So there's all kinds of stuff like that. Um, like and interesting shops and interesting you know places that we have around here, events that we do. That's one of the reasons why I wanted to get the action camera and the yeah. Um, that's one of the reasons why I wanted to get the action camera so I can show you guys that on the Patreon side. Because that kind of content doesn't sit in the same genre or expectation of a reaction or commentary channel. So that's kind of stuff that would go into the Patreon point. Another thing I want to get is a decent laptop. So this way here, when I'm out and about, if yeah, there's a lot of really pretty things around here in Canada. Like if I could find somebody to drive me there in the fall, up in cottage country, oh, the scenery is just breathtaking. Like for me, it's probably one of the prettiest things I've ever seen. Is the mountains with all the different tree color, like leaf colors, just gorgeous, just picture perfect. Like you almost at a point where you want to take the picture, cut it all up into a puzzle, and then try to put the puzzle back together. Well, you see, pineapple on pizza started out because the ham was so salty and the pepperoni was so spicy, needed something sweet to balance it all out again. So they put the pineapple on the pizza and it worked out. A lot of people don't like pineapple on pizza. They don't understand it. A lot of people like it. Like if you like anchovies on your pizza, but don't like that monster salt that comes off of anchovies, throw some pineapples on that pizza and it'll cut the salt out. Not out, but it'll cut the salt. It won't taste so salty. But yeah, it's just one of the things that that if you don't reinvest in your business, you will end up losing your business. If you invest in your business, you'll have a chance to increase your business. And that's why I decided to, when I got my YouTube check, action camera, accessory kit, and lights. And, the lights will be coming in soon. And I also got another set of lapel mics. So this way here, I'll always have something to, plug in here, plug in there, whatever like that. But like the action camera that I got was just a cheapy little unit, just to test out. Later on, if I like doing those kind of videos, doing interviews and whatever like that, yeah, I'll get a new camera with some that'll accept external microphones. So this way here, I can I can do those, do better interviews, you know, take one step further ahead. Because if you don't take a step ahead, three people are, and you're going to be actually two steps behind. So, just got to either keep up with the Joneses, or you got to take that extra leap of faith and get things going. But aside from that, there's really not a whole lot going on other than construction continues in the building. Pretty much all day long, they're putting in those air units in all the other places. Current laptop is a Samsung 16 gig or 16 gig. You're pretty happy with it? Good. Yeah, anything but an iPad. I want to kind of stay away from MacBook and iPad because then if you want to transfer data, you have to have an iPhone. And I don't have an iPhone. I'm not going to spend $4,000 on an iPhone. So, I don't want to have to change my phone, change my cameras, change my mics, change my computer just to have, an iPad. Like, doesn't make any sense. Everything that I got is either iOS or Microsoft, and they play well together. So, that's where I kind of go with that. Is I don't want to deal with iPhone or iPad. I don't want to deal with MacBook. It's just it's a whole new system that I'd have to learn, and then I'd have to get all brand new programs to do all the editing and all that other stuff. Nah. Yeah. My phone's just a Galaxy 7, and my tablet is a Galaxy 9A. So and pretty much everything I got is Google. But like having everything being Microsoft or Google or whatever like that, I kind of know the Google program. I know the Microsoft program a little bit. I can do with what I got. Having to learn a whole brand new program in the middle of doing what I'm doing now? Oh, hell no. That ain't happening. Mind you, probably when if I was to get to the Philippines, apparently everything over there is Apple. And I'd have to pretty much bring all my equipment with me. Or ship it in a box. When I get there, package open. Now I got to put this shit together. But yeah, just another thing I could do with that action camera is show you guys some of the interesting dishes that I have to cook for myself, just so that I can stay within my budget. Yeah, they're expensive. Like I heard one or a bunch of YouTubers saying that the Apple products in the Philippines are like 1.5 to 3 times as much as they are here in here in North America. I was like, holy shit! They're $4,000 here. Like, I couldn't imagine paying like $10,000 for a phone. And damn well, if I paid $10,000 for a phone, that thing is not going to leave my sight. And if anybody touches it or wants to use it, the answer is no. Yeah, so it's just like you're better off to buy it here, ship it there, take your chances that it'll actually show up. and then try and find the place that it went to. Because apparently, from what uh, a few YouTubers say, there's really no addresses in the Philippines. No addresses. It's like you got to tell them, okay, you go down this street here. When you get to this colored barn that's got a tree right beside it, turn left, and you go down that road, and then you count 3 houses, and then you turn left down this place, and then you got to give them directions and then tell them what your house looks like. Whereas here in the Western society, we're here in Canada, United States, possibly even Mexico, there's street signs. Oh yeah, Singapore. that'd be the place to go, because like they're built right there. There's no shipping costs. But here in Canada, United States, North America, basically, there's street signs. You have a street sign to tell you what that road is, and you have numbers on your houses. And you tell them, okay, I live on this out or this road with this number. They match that up and they drop that stuff out right off at your door. So you just tell them how many. You got to give landmarks, and it's wild. From what I hear in the Philippines, it's wild for deliveries. But it's one of those things. If you're going to leave your home country and go to another country to visit or travel or go and migrate to, that's something that you have to accept. That place is an entirely different place, and they have entirely different laws. You have to accept those laws. If you're going to step foot on their soil, you have to accept their laws as what's being governed. You can't go to a country and expect the laws from your home country to be obeyed. A lot of them are going to be the same. There's going to be some that are, some that are quite interesting. So, you just got to, be mindful of where you are and where you're going and where you're at and what you can and cannot do. Yeah. Yeah. If you can't obey the laws, and basically, if you're there for vacation, if you're not invisible to the law, like if you're not, if you're staying within the law, you're invisible to the law. They're not looking at you. But if you're there just showing that you're a positive person and you're obeying the law, and you're people aren't being coming up to the police saying, "Oh, he's rude," or "They're rude," or if you're just basically respecting the people, then that's fine. But if you're going to a country like that particular Russian gentleman that went to the Philippines, who's now sitting in jail because he decided he was going to make a YouTube channel, sort of like the one that Johnny Somali had for a what kind of what was he on? He was on Kick or something like that. And Johnny Somali went to Japan, and his subscribers challenged him and egged him on to break all kinds of laws. He could have said no, but he went and did it anyways because they were, "Oh, I'll give you like $5 if you do this. I'll give you $10 if you do that. I'll give you $100 if you do this." And he went and did it just to get the cash apps. And then he ended up landing himself in jail. Whose fault is that? It isn't mine. It isn't the Japanese government. It's Johnny Somali's fault. This guy from Russia tried doing the same garbage in the Philippines, stealing stuff and disrespecting people and whatnot. Now he's sitting in jail. And, if you're personally, if I'm on vacation somewhere, the last place I want to be is sitting in a jail cell for something that I know I should not have done. Like you either be a polite, positive person while you're on vacation or while you're migrating to someplace else, or there's a plane that leaves every day. You can be on it. And it would be better for you because, the further you get away from the place that you could be breaking the law, the better for you. Yeah, that's like the dumbest area that he could have went to. Oh, let's go to the most populated portion of the Philippines, which is densely populated to begin with. But let's go to the most densely populated sector and act like a complete moron. Like, really? And then the guy was all like, "Oh, I didn't know. I didn't know that stealing was against the law here." Well, you should. If you want to have a successful trip and be allowed to come back again, you better brush up on some legalities. Watch some YouTube channels that discuss about that area, like I've done. Oh yeah, he was definitely on something. He was on stupidity, is what he was on. He was stuck on stupidity. And same thing with that Johnny Somali. Johnny Somali was stuck on idiocity. Like, period. Like, he did the same thing in freaking South Korea, Singapore, and Japan. And he got sent to jail in Japan. And apparently they're keeping him. And you know what I say? Good. Because he gives a bad name for anybody else who's got a camera out. Like, I'm just going to put out moron after moron alert. I'm just going to put out a hypothetical scenario. If I was, walking around, say, in the Philippines with my camera out on the walking stick and shooting a video, and a police officer came up to me and said, "Hey, you can't do that here." Oh, I'm sorry. I'd shut it off, put it away, and then I'd mind my own business. I was unaware. Thank you very much for clarifying that up, and put it away. And then nothing else would be said about it. It's all about, trying to make your experience in the country that you're visiting a positive one, and one that, they don't mind you coming back. Now, I'm not saying that you go there and you drop thousands of dollars on, charities and stuff like that, and you bring receipts to, border control and say, "This is what I've done while I was here." No, if when they go to check your name, do your exit clearance, and they check your name to see if you have any outstanding rent to be paid, outstanding fines, legal problems, charges against you, or whatever. When they go to check that, if there's any black marks on you, you ain't coming back. You won't be coming back until all those black marks are taken care of. And that's just a maybe. If you go to border control and they go to screen your name to see if you've done any of that crap, and it comes up as a blank sheet, they'll shake your hand on the way back, on your way out, and then they'll be happy to see you when you come back. Being a positive person while you're out on vacation or traveling or anything, just being a positive person is a much better lifestyle, because then you end up, you could meet some new friends. and enjoy new experiences. How are you doing, Nicole? Yeah, they're dreadfully overcrowded. Like, you got to basically take turns sleeping. Because, like, from what I heard, and this is only going by what I've heard from YouTube channels, it's like a 6x6 room, and there's like 7 of you in there. So you gotta sleep standing up or sitting down on the floor, and you don't get a comfortable bed to sleep in. You don't even get a cot to sleep in like you do here in Canada. Hanging in there, good. Yeah, and plus, I watched a video about crazy things that happen in prison, and apparently, in the Philippines prison, they have a dance um, session in the morning, and you have to do it. It's not a oh, you want to come out and enjoy song and dance and try to bring up the pub. No, it's you have to do it, and you had better learn the steps. And I'm like, I dance like a man who's got like ants running up and down his leg. I would not do good in that prison. I wouldn't do good in any prison, really. But, it is what it is. If you do stupid stuff, you want to play stupid games, you're going to win stupid prizes. That's all there is to it. But other than that, what else have we got to talk about? I don't know too much other things that's going on. Do the crime, you do the time. Exactly. There's no reason to do anything that's against the law, because if you're doing something against the law, like blatantly, when it comes time for the judge to put the hammer down, you did it to yourself. Plain and simple. Ooh. Yeah, see, me, never had the cuffs on. Never had cuffs on. Not even for fun. Not even for fun. Never been arrested. Ever. It's just something that, to be, early on in life, my parents said, don't ever call me from jail. You don't want to call me from jail because I'll leave you there. You were the one who messed it up, not me. And you know what? I took that to heart. I was like, there is nothing that would make me want to do anything that stupid to end up in jail. So, I've never been arrested, never been charged with anything. Never gave the police any reason to really look at me as a perpetrator of a crime. Yeah. Normally the flow of anything in the Philippines is pretty slow. And they were just like happy to, oh, this is guilty written all over it. And the thing about it is, in the Philippines, you don't go in front of a jury of peers. There's not 12 people waiting to hear your testimony. No, it's one person. One person makes the decision, and you had better hope they are having a good day. Yeah, I'll bet the president definitely got involved. Yeah. Put the hammer down on him. and probably put in a bit more scrutiny on people from that country. I watched a channel, this channel called Becoming Filipino, and it was a gentleman who was from British Columbia, Canada, and he went through all the steps to basically get his nationalized citizenship in the Philippines, and he finally got it. And he was like, everything that he talked about, through the process, he was always very positive about it. He said, "Yeah, it's going to take some time to do this, but he says, it's something that I want to do, something that I'm happy about." He says, "I love the scenery, I love the weather, I love the people, I love the culture." He loved everything about what he enjoyed while he was there on his first vacation, and he just wanted to be able to stay and not have to deal with the visa problems, like having to redo his visa, take a flight out, come back in, and all that other stuff. He just wanted to, give me the nationalization, and then I'll be done with it. And he got his his nationalized card, and now he's living in the Philippines. He can get a job, vote, the whole 9 yards, buy property now that he's a nationalized citizen or naturalized citizen. He gave up his Canadian citizenship and became a Filipino citizen. So, congratulations to him. I bet that took what felt like probably forever, because things don't move very fast in the Philippines. Another channel that I kind of see once in a while, Old Dog New Tricks. He's been trying to build a house for the last year and a half, and they're still trying to get the property deed and ownership scored away so that they can actually start building. So, there's a whole ball of wax that's going on with that. And he says it's one permit after another. And you got to get this permit to get that permit, to get this permit over here, to get this permit over here, to finalize this permit over here. He said there's a whole lot of running around, a whole lot of going everywhere just to get one permit, just to build a house. So, it's something that you got to do, because that's the way they do things. You can't just go in there guns blazing, going off the handle saying, "Hey, in my country, I'd already be done building. I'd be living in the house. Then go back to your other country. Get out of here and go back to your other country. You don't like the way things are working, the way things work in that new country that you're in, leave. There's a plane that leaves every day. All you got to do is be on it." So with that, I think I'm going to shut this down and wish you all a good night. And until we get to the next one, folks, I wish you all peace, love, and happiness.